One of the reasons I love Iconic Motorbikes is because it's one of the very few places where you're going to be able to have the opportunity to see something like this. 3 Bimota Tesi 3Ds all in one place. We've got this one of the originals, the Concept Americas. We've got this one of the final editions, which actually happens to be my personal bike, so I do have a soft spot for it. And then this one here is another final edition, but it's got some modifications. I'll get more into that later, but I just want to spend a couple of minutes with you guys talking about these two bikes, where they're similar, where they're different, why I love them so much, because it's rare to just have all these things together. So it's cool to take advantage of it when you got it. And plus, it's just better than being at the desk and being on the phone all day anyway. So, the Tesi 3D from Bimota. If you guys have been following Iconic for a while, you guys know the drill. Hub center steering, that's the crazy shtick here, the thing that people get most interested in. No forks, both these bikes. This is what started it back in about 2008. So the initial run was called the Concept America. They made 29 of them. This is the final edition. They made 45 of these. So those numbers are not just for the US, that's worldwide. Let's start talking about this one a little bit. This is the original run, and there's a few things that probably catch your eye at first in terms of the differences between them. So when Bimota first made this, it was more of a sport bike. It was more sport oriented. Only one seat. You have the dual undertail exhaust. You have ergonomically, it's definitely much more aggressive. I'm actually going to hop on this real quick. I'll sit on both so you can get a feel for the difference, at least just visually with me on it. But you have these much more aggressive clip-ons on this bike. One of the reasons I actually personally bought that as my commuter was because I appreciated the ergonomics of the upright handlebar. But again, I'll show you what that's like in just a moment. The other big difference is going to be up here with the front suspension design. So in the first version of this, now of course I say first, the hub center goes back to the Tesi 1D, from many, many moons ago. So they've made the 1D, the 2D, and then a few versions of the 3D, like this one. The 3D here, so you've got that front swing arm, and then you've got the brake stabilization arms. I'm jealous because these are made out of carbon fiber. I just get painted metal. But here you can see the suspension. The shock is here. It's an Extreme Tech shock. It's an air shock, and it works actually under extension as opposed to under compression, like the Öhlins that I have on my bike, which is positioned more about here. Other differences, so they both use Ducati motors, but this has a dual spark 1000. You can see your extra spark there, plus the carbon fiber belt covers, something else I'm jealous of because I get the plastic ones. There's definitely more carbon fiber pieces, like accoutrements on this one. Covers on this side, the side stand gets a nice little carbon fiber cover, the front swing arm gets some extra carbon fiber there. The bodywork on both bikes, in terms of a similarity, all this bodywork is carbon fiber on both bikes. The tank is nylon on both bikes. Unfortunately, if you've owned a 2000s Ducati, you know that means if ethanol gets in the picture, these things expand. So I've had to get my tank lined. This bike has had its tank lined. I don't know the history on this one, but hopefully it's been lined because otherwise they do start swelling and cracking and all that unfortunate stuff. But yeah, I tell you what, I mentioned that, you know, the aggressive nature of this. You also get the cool reservoirs here, billet pieces, I believe, which is nice. Let's just have you hear this. Make sure I'll fire both bikes up for you. Here we go. So 3,600 miles on this one. This one's got aftermarket heated grips, which are pretty interesting. Kind of jealous of that. All right, there you go. Obviously, another big visual difference that I didn't mention. You get the gold wheels here. How cool! That looks so much better than the black wheels on my bike. Not that I'm jealous. I keep using the word jealous. I really do think that this is a better looking bike. However, for my purposes as a commuting machine, this does the job better. So I am happy with this. This is my baby. They made 29 of those, the Concept Americas. They made 45 of these, the final editions. This one is number 24. Let me sit on this so you can kind of compare and contrast. So again, that one, the clip-ons kind of put you here, and definitely a bit of a forward tuck. But here you're up like this, and it's surprisingly comfortable. It is a two-seater, as I mentioned before. But my girlfriend Vivi hates being on the back of this bike. It vibrates a lot. The pegs are up super high. So there's where's the, I can't even, oh, we took the pegs off because we're doing some service work to it, sorry. But the pegs are on this, are super high normally. And yeah, there's just not much room. Not a very, it's really just for like a quick run to dinner or something like that. You wouldn't want to go very far on the back of this bike. Different motor, so it has the 1100 Evo motor, which is a wet clutch, about 95 horsepower. And yeah, I've got 17-something thousand miles on this. Hoping to have about 20,000 before I go take it to the Quail this year. Hopefully we see you guys at the Quail Moto Fest. One of the feature classes this year is actually going to be Bimota. So we may see that bike. I think we'll probably see this bike. The owner of this lives in the area, so I'm trying to get him to ride it over there and join us. And I plan on riding this one up from LA for the show. I think I covered the main differences. And again, similarities really at the end of the day, they are Ducati powered Bimotas with the hub center steering. The suspension is a little bit different. The Omega frames are very, very similar, and it's just different takes on it. So the initial version, more sporty, the one-seater concept there, as you can see. And then this one, the final edition, the big change really is gonna be how they handle that front suspension. From a riding standpoint, like I said, I do find this to be much more comfortable. I appreciate that. And at the end of this video, we'll actually show you some riding footage of me on this, so you can kind of get a feel of what it's like, what it sounds like. Oh, speaking of which, I didn't fire this up for you yet. So you can kind of hear them, not necessarily back to back, but. So the stock Bimota exhaust on this is an Aero system. I really do love these bikes. Obviously, there's just the rarity of it. They're unique, they're special, which the vain part of me, I guess, appreciates. But they're incredibly narrow. They're incredibly light. Like the V-twin motor, when I sit on it, it just feels like you're sitting in a chair. It's surprisingly comfortable because of the ergonomics. But yeah, it's really, really narrow. It's really thin, which is great for splitting lanes. Like I said, it's lightweight, well south of 400 pounds. It makes 95 horsepower, which is not an overwhelming amount, but frankly, for the riding I'm doing, it's fast enough. And they're just really, really special motorcycles. We've got this one back here, another one of the final editions. This is number 13 out of 45. And Bob at Bimota Spirit, Bob Steinbugler, he is the US importer of these. He's based out of North Carolina. I just wanted to show this as well because he actually had a couple left over, I think, from that run. And so he customized this. So exposed carbon fiber bodywork. Again, the nylon tank, but he did a cool thing where kind of like a Harley VR 1000 has orange paint on one side and black on the other. This has red decals as for Bimota and Tesi 3D on one side, and then green decals for Bimota and Tesi 3D on the other side, even like a stripe down the tank, just playing off the Italian tricolore. And then this came to us to do the 600-mile break-in service, and so the owner had us powder coat the brake stabilization and steering arms to match that as well, which is pretty cool. So, I was inspired to do this because a while back we did a video comparing this bike to a Virus 986, and we just had people that were asking questions more about the Tesi 3D and different variants of it, that kind of thing. The two main versions are what you see in front of you right here. They also made a Carbonio version, which was exposed carbon fiber bodywork and different paint schemes for the swing arms and for the Omega frame. One of the things I love about the frame on my bike is that it's unpainted, so you can see all the mill work, or the milling work, I should say, which is just really, really, it's a great touch. If you have any questions about these bikes, please let us know in the comments. We always want to share them. And like I said in the beginning of the video, it's just rare to get an opportunity to see both of these back to back. I apologize that I don't have any running or riding video for you of this bike. I haven't had a chance to ride that. Maybe the new owner will allow us to do that, or let us record him so you can see what it's like. But for now, I'm going to leave you with some footage of me riding this. Hope you enjoy, and we'll see you on the next one.